Google just gave the boot to over 200 workers, DeepMind is creating entire AI economies, and Sam Altman's company is testing a pill that could reverse brain aging. You don't want to miss this. Welcome to Kitty AI Daily, your go-to source for the hottest AI news that's shaking up our world. I'm your host, Kitty, and I'm beyond excited to dive into today's top stories that are literally changing the game as we speak. All right, let's dive into today's first story. Google has just dropped a bombshell by cutting more than 200 contract workers in the U.S. who were responsible for training and improving their AI products, including the Gemini chatbot and AI overviews. These workers, employed through an outsourcing firm called Global Logic, were earning between $18 to $32 per hour to refine AI responses and make sure they were accurate and clear. Now here's where it gets absolutely wild. The reason for these layoffs? Google says they're shifting toward what they call agentic self-learning models that need fewer human annotations. In other words, the AI is getting so good that it might not need humans to train it anymore. Talk about a plot twist. But wait, it gets even more concerning. These contractors weren't exactly living the high life. They reported facing tight deadlines, minimal benefits, and what some described as an oppressive work environment. And to make matters worse, some of these workers were actually trying to unionize with support from the Alphabet Workers Union to address their low pay and job insecurity. In fact, 2 former contractors have filed complaints with the National Labor Relations Board, claiming they faced retaliation for their organizing efforts. Google, of course, is pointing out that these workers weren't their direct employees, but were employed by Global Logic or its subcontractors. They're saying they take their supplier relations seriously and audit companies against their supplier code of conduct. But let's be real here. That doesn't really help the workers who just lost their jobs, does it? What's particularly ironic about this whole situation is that these workers may be getting replaced by the very AI systems they helped train. It's like a sci-fi movie where the creations turn on their creators. This story is a wake-up call about how AI is transforming the job market. If even the people training AI are being replaced by AI, what does that mean for other jobs? It highlights the growing concern about automation replacing human workers across various industries. For those of you working in tech, especially in roles that involve repetitive tasks or data processing, this might be a good time to start thinking about how you can adapt your skills to work alongside AI rather than compete with it. The future is going to be about human-AI collaboration, not replacement. And let's not forget about the ethical implications here. As companies rush to develop more advanced AI, we need to ensure that the humans who help build these systems are treated fairly and have job security. It's a conversation we all need to be having as AI continues to reshape our world. Now, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi novel. Google DeepMind has just proposed creating something called sandbox economies, basically virtual environments where autonomous AI agents can negotiate, trade, and coordinate resources on a global scale. Mind-blowing, right? This concept is detailed in a research paper titled Virtual Agent Economies by DeepMind researchers, and it's absolutely fascinating. The paper argues that as AI agents become more autonomous, we're seeing the emergence of a whole new economic layer, where these agents transact and coordinate at speeds and scales that are way beyond direct human oversight. Can you imagine? The researchers describe these sandbox economies along 2 main axes. First, whether the economy is intentional, meaning deliberately constructed for safe experimentation, or emergent, meaning it arises spontaneously from widespread AI adoption. Second, whether the boundaries between the AI agent economy and the human economy are impermeable, sealed off, or permeable, allowing interaction with the human economy. According to the researchers, we're currently heading toward a spontaneous and highly permeable AI agent economy, which presents both incredible opportunities and serious risks. On one hand, we could see unprecedented coordination and efficiency. On the other hand, we could face systemic economic risks and exacerbated inequality. It's a double-edged sword, folks. The paper also discusses some key design considerations for these sandbox economies, including auction mechanisms for fair resource allocation among AI agents, the creation of AI mission economies to coordinate collective efforts towards societal goals, and the need for what they call socio-technical infrastructure, like verifiable credentials, to ensure trust, safety, and accountability in these agentic markets. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Google DeepMind's Genie 3, announced in August 2025, is a general-purpose world model capable of generating diverse, interactive environments. This could actually serve as the technical foundation for these sandbox economies by providing rich, simulated worlds for AI agents to interact in. This isn't just theoretical, it's happening right now. Google Cloud and its partners are already deploying AI agents in real-world economic scenarios like supply chain risk monitoring, autonomous driving, and financial services. We're seeing the early stages of what could become a fully autonomous AI economy. For you as consumers and professionals, this could mean more efficient services, lower costs, and entirely new business models that we can't even imagine yet. Imagine AI agents negotiating the best prices for products you want, or coordinating complex logistics to get items to you faster and cheaper. But it also raises important questions about regulation and oversight. How do we ensure these AI economies benefit everyone and not just a select few? How do we prevent manipulation or unfair practices? These are questions that policymakers, businesses, and society as a whole will need to grapple with as this technology develops. The key takeaway here is that we're witnessing the birth of a new economic paradigm, and it's happening faster than most people realize. The future of economic interaction might not be human to human, but AI to AI, with humans setting the parameters and reaping the benefits. All right, get ready for what might be the most incredible story of the day, and possibly the year. Sam Altman's Retro Biosciences is preparing human trials of a pill called RTR-242 that's designed to trigger autophagy. That's the cellular process that clears out damaged proteins and debris in our brains, potentially reversing neural aging and even treating Alzheimer's disease. I'm not kidding. This is real stuff. Retro Biosciences is a Silicon Valley-based longevity startup founded in 2021 with a whopping $180 million in initial funding from Sam Altman, who you know as the CEO of OpenAI. The company is led by CEO Joe Betts-LaCroix, a scientist and entrepreneur known for paradigm-shifting innovation. So what exactly is this magic pill? RTR-242 is an experimental drug aimed at treating Alzheimer's by restoring autophagy, that cellular cleanup process I mentioned that deteriorates with age and contributes to neurodegeneration. The pill is designed to literally clear out gunk in the brain, specifically those misfolded, mutated, and undigestible proteins that accumulate over time and disrupt normal cellular recycling. Now here's what makes this absolutely game-changing. Unlike current Alzheimer's drugs like Leqembi and Kisunla that only slow cognitive decline by removing amyloid plaques, Retro's approach aims to actually reverse the underlying aging processes rather than just manage symptoms. That's right. We're talking about potentially turning back the clock on brain aging. And the timeline? Retro is preparing to begin its first clinical trial in Australia by the end of 2025, where regulatory pathways for early-phase trials are faster. The company has already selected a clinical trial site and lab vendors, expecting the first participant to be enrolled toward the end of the year. But wait, there's more. Retro is seeking to raise a massive $1 billion in Series A funding to support larger clinical trials and accelerate development. And their long-term vision? To add 10 healthy years to human lifespan, focusing on improving quality of life, not just extending it. What's even more fascinating is that Retro Biosciences is also developing two other advanced programs, RTR-890, a therapy to generate fresh blood stem cells for treating blood disorders like leukemia, and RTR-888, a stem cell-derived treatment for central nervous system diseases. And here's the AI connection that makes this even more exciting. Retro collaborates with OpenAI, using a custom AI model called GPT-4b Micro to enhance stem cell reprogramming, reportedly boosting efficiency by 50 times compared to natural methods. That's the power of AI accelerating medical breakthroughs. This isn't just about treating diseases, it's about fundamentally changing how we age. If successful, RTR-242 could represent a paradigm shift in medicine, moving from treating symptoms to addressing the root causes of aging and neurodegeneration. For those of us with family members affected by Alzheimer's or other neurodegenerative diseases, this offers real hope. Unlike current treatments that only slow decline, this approach could potentially restore cognitive function and quality of life. And even if you're not personally affected by these conditions, the implications for healthy aging are enormous. Imagine reaching your 80s or 90s with the cognitive function of someone decades younger. That's the kind of future this research could help create. Of course, we need to be realistic. This is still in the early stages, and many promising treatments don't make it through clinical trials. But the fact that we're even able to attempt such interventions shows how far we've come in understanding the biology of aging. The bottom line? We could be witnessing the beginning of the end for age-related cognitive decline, thanks to the convergence of biotechnology and AI. And that's something that should excite every single one of us. Wow, what an incredible day of AI news. We're truly living in revolutionary times. Each of these stories represents a different facet of how AI is transforming our world, sometimes in concerning ways, sometimes in mind-blowing ways, but always in ways that will affect all of our futures. What do you think about these developments? Are you excited about the possibilities or concerned about the implications? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your thoughts. If you found this video informative and exciting, please hit that like button and subscribe to Kitty AI Daily for your daily dose of AI news that's shaping our world. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and remember, the future is happening faster than ever. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed. Peace out.